Hey there, and welcome to another episode of One Email, Two Takes. I'm one of the co-hosts. I'm riding solo this week. My partner in crime, Christina Finseth, couldn't make it. But if you're not aware, this is the weekly Sales Hacker Show where Christina and I break down cold emails that were either sent to us or sent to us by people asking for feedback on the show. And so this week, Christina actually forwarded me a series of emails that she got that are quite terrible. And so I'm really excited to break down this like three-part sequence around an event and show you how I would approach it a little bit differently. Now, who am I to tell you this? I'm Will Allred. I'm one of the co-founders at a company called Lavender. We help thousands of sales reps write better emails faster. And so I've got the backing of a few million email data points to hopefully support my opinions with some facts. That said, let's jump into the actual email because this is quite the series of notes here. So it starts with this request for sponsorship. So it's the event title 2022, just a few sponsorships available, trying to drive some kind of urgency. This email is horribly long, horribly unpersonalized. I don't even know if it's fair to read it out loud to y'all. I'll try to like skim through it. So, have you ever wanted to help somebody, but fat grammatical error, didn't know where to start? I asked this question because that's where I find myself, and I'm hoping you can assist me. I represent companies, brand and demand solutions practice, and I'm attempting to identify the appropriate persons in your marketing department to bring a very targeted opportunity to their attention. Out of respect for your time, I'm going to get right to the point. Every time I've ever read, I'm going to get right to the point. No one has ever gotten to the point. In 2022, our company will be hosting X event. These programs target the most senior level executives responsible for customer care, call center, customer experience, customer operations. Why the heck would Christina care about this? I don't know. Companies sponsor our events because they seek tangible returns on relationships with executive level decision makers. That's what we deliver. Oh man, this is so bad. Okay, based on the unpersonalized research I've done in your company, there are so many reasons why this program would be of interest, but I'm not going to tell you any of them because this is actually not researched at all and it's shot out of a spam cannon. The most important of which is who will be participating in the pipeline that will come from it. In an effort to maximize the value from these interactive discussions, our company has invited leaders from financial services, healthcare, travel and hospitality, retail, information and communication, utilities, government. Cool. Anyways, it's like a never-ending story. The program and out-of-the-box networking attacks will take place on date in X city. I'd like to see if we can arrange a brief call with one of my colleagues to determine if sponsorship is right. So, can you help me? Are you the right person to talk to? If you are not the right point of contact, any help you can provide pointing in the right direction would be greatly appreciated. If you are not the right point of contact, any help you can provide pointing me in the right direction would be greatly appreciated. Okay, they could have said the like last paragraph in one sentence. They also done some research and figured out they had an actual relevant person to talk to. This whole based on your research, that it's just like it's horrible. Every bad practice in the book is in this one godforsaken email. Like I could have started with just don't say dear. That's like a good place to start. But it's just like it keeps going. I literally had to just dump the whole thing and start over because it was so bad. But the best part about this entire email thread is the strategy for follow-up. It's really backwards. So instead of just responding to the original email, they decided to try to be a little bit tricky and hit forward as opposed to hit reply, with the forward saying, still awaiting your reply, trying to, I guess, make Christina feel guilty for not responding. And then it's the company name, same, original thing. Dear Christina, I'm reaching back out to you as I never heard back from you regarding the email below. The response to setting these meetings up has been strong, so I'd like to. I can't believe that that's the case, by the way. After that long email, there's no way anybody replied. The response to setting up these meetings has been strong, so I'd like to make sure you are able to get on the schedule and connect with us at your convenience. Can you review the email below and reply back today with interest and availability? Thanks, and I look forward to your reply. Oh, as a seller, you are not entitled to a response. This message screams entitlement, and that is not the case. There's a reason that like using tentative or unsure tonality within cold emails is so effective, and it's because of stuff like this. Buyers are immediately turned off when you try to come with this kind of tone and this kind of language. Also, this email, this block of text is going to show up like an absolute wall on a mobile phone. That's where Christina probably opened that email first, was on her phone. It's where you're 8 times more likely to open an email. So like this is just god awful, long, terrible tone set in the wrong practice, right? Email 3, we're hitting forward again, and guess what? We're out. We're hitting the breakup. One thing I appreciate about this sequence is they broke up early. I'm a big fan of break up early, break up often. Clearly it's a wrong time, whatever. But the strategy here is painful to watch unfold. Anyways, let me read it. Dear Christina, morning. Hope all is well. Okay. I've been trying to reach you via email last week in an attempt to schedule an exploratory call with our company. See event details below. I sent 2 emails last week with no response, as if I was ever going to reply to those long monsters. Should I wave the white flag? Are you and your company not interested in working with our company's brand and demand solutions practice? That's actually not what you wanted me to do. You wanted me to sponsor an event. So that's a really weird and confusing question. Your reply would be appreciated so I can plan accordingly either way. Your reply would be appreciated. Of course it would be appreciated. Like it's like saying I would love to ... Of course you would love to, but what do I care about? What do I need? Right? So hopefully for me and my visceral response to this entire exchange, you know that I think this is absolutely terrible as far as email exchanges go. This first email just breaks my heart. It is way too long. It is way too dense. And when I think about best practices for length, when I think about best practices for clarity, this is clearly written beyond a 12th grade reading level. This is clearly beyond the 25 to 50 word best practice when it comes to length. So like we're looking at like not clear, really long, unpersonalized, just everything about this screams spam. And so we have to take a different approach. It's actually pretty timely because I've had a few people reach out to me about events and writing event emails. So I'm going to take a stab at rewriting this and trying to reach out about sponsorship. So recognizing that the event is really not that relevant to someone like Christina and the Greenhouse team, I took a stretch here. So let's look through it. All right, email 1. So I went with a subject line of just like the event name, and I'm not going to forward any of these emails to anybody. I'm just going to reply to them. Hey, Christina, I was checking out the lineup and sponsors for an upcoming event. I wanted to see if you're interested in sponsoring. So basically, I start with an observation, something that I'm doing. So it gives Christina context for how I got there. And then I just straight up go into what I want. I want to see if there's interest in sponsoring. And then I'm going to explain why I want to see this. So we have a senior leader from ADP speaking. So ADP, another player in the HR tech space, thinking that logo could probably catch attention, that there is actually a senior leader from ADP speaking. But we have a gap in sponsorship from major HR players like Greenhouse. So I'm basically creating this like contrast. There's an opening that you can fill. And then I just say something you're open to, right? Someone like Christina, I don't need to act like she doesn't know anything about sponsorship. I don't need to act like she doesn't understand what I'm trying to get at here. And so I'm just going to be short and to the point and explain why I wanted to have Greenhouse and have this conversation. Now, that's email 1. Email 2, I'm going to reply to the same email. Hey, Christina, is this something you'd be interested in? Using that as almost like a a bump for urgency to get them to open the email, right? It's similar thought process to when you use an email like thoughts, question mark. The thing that I'm doing on top of that is I'm adding a little bit more context. So I'm going to say the event is focused on customer experience experts, right? So I'm like handling the objection up front. We get a surprising amount of engagement from folks in the HR world. Candidate experience is becoming a big combo. Let me know. And so what immediately can happen is I can scroll down and see my thinking for the event as well. Now, email 3, we're going to break up. So I'm going to do the finale here. And I actually got this framework from Christina, which is, Christina, I used to be a big anti-breakup email person. And then Christina reframed it for me and told me, well, it's not a breakup, it's a bye for now, right? It's saying, hey, I clearly missed the mark, walking away and just creating this vacuum that someone immediately wants to fill. And so there's a few things in here that are really key to making this work. One is the brevity of it. Christina, I've reached out a few times. Clearly my timing is off, right? So you just own up. You say, hey, no worries. Or as our friend would say, I'm waving the white flag. Since we're seeing HR engagement, I thought sponsorship might be on the table. Very clean and simple, right? This is the reason that I reached out. Feel free to correct me if I was wrong, but I'm going to stop my outreach for now. That's it. That's all you have to say. And by the way, Christina's actually put this into practice for our team at Lavender, and it's like a 12% reply rate, where people were just like, oh, yeah, I was actually just watching the cadence that Christina had put together. Didn't realize I was going to end so early. But I also got replies that were like, your timing is a little bit off. Reach out in a couple weeks. Or people would be like, no, this was great. Really appreciate it. This is what we're working on. People will correct you, right? People love to make that correction. So the brevity is one piece, but that feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. People love that invitation and they will take it any chance they get. Cool. Okay. I tried to save some of my breath on the overall length of those emails. They were quite intense. I'm checking out a new recording software, by the way. So I saw a weird little background. I'm not sure if y'all got that or if that was just on my end. But hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Sales Hacker newsletter. This goes out every week through that newsletter. But also be sure to check out the video page on Sales Hacker's website. All the videos are available there. You can also find us on YouTube. / Sales Hacker, where these videos are uploaded all the time. So I'm Will Allred. Next week I will be rejoined by my co-host Christina Finseth, but appreciate it and send us some emails if you want a feedback.